In the name of God, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. This is my morning devotional, but I have to address something quite clearly before we start. You know, these messages in my inbox, I have to address them, and I will address them head on because that's who I am. If you would expand your message, Chaplain Shabazz, to include more people, you could be more effective. I don't understand when you say my people, you're excluding people. Well, let me tell you something, inbox person. Let me tell you something. I'll keep your anonymity, but I won't be quiet. When I say my people, I mean if you have eyes to see, if you have ears to hear, and you have a mouth to speak, and you have a soul that comes from God, you are my people. So stop making assumptions. Stop trying to put me into your box. I am for all people. I don't care what your religious title is. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care what your sexuality is. I have proven that all throughout my life. So you can take your inbox and go and put it in somebody else's outbox, because that's not who I am. If you don't have the courage to be for all people, don't put that on me. If you don't have the courage to transcend your religious body and stay out of other people's religious body and condemning them to hell, don't put that on me. My track record has shown that I'm for all people. So when I say my people, let me reiterate to you. If you have eyes to see, and you have ears to hear, and you have a mouth to speak, and you have a soul that's emanating from God, you are my people, and I have proven that. Now let me get that out of the way, because those things need to be addressed head on. I have no boxes. I have no limitations. I have no exclusion to anybody. So now, let me teach my people. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. The Quran says, فَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانَ إِذَا مَا بَتَلَهُ رَبُّهُ فَأَكْرَمَهُ وَنَعَّمَهُ فَيَأْكُلُ رَبِّي أَكْرَمَنِ وَأَمَّا إِذَا مَا بَتَلَهُ فَقَدَّرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ فَيَأْكُلُ رَبِّي أَهَانًا. You see, this is a message for all people. The Quran says, now as for man, when his Lord tries him and gives him gifts, gives him riches, gives him houses, gives him cars, gives him a life of adequate means, he is puffed up with pride, saying, my Lord has honored me, my Lord has blessed me, my Lord has favored me, and he looks down upon those people who have not achieved his or her level of a success. The second ayah says, the second verse says, وَأَمَّا إِذَا مَا بَتَلَهُ فَقَدَّرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ فَيَأْكُلُ رَبِّي أَهَانًا. But when he tries him and restricts his means of subsistence, he says, depressingly, my Lord has humiliated me. Isn't that us? Isn't that who we are? You pray to God and you think God is a lottery. You think God is a vending machine. You think as soon as your prayers go up that God should bless you immediately. But God says he's going to try you with something of fear, hunger, loss of life, and loss of wealth. Why are you trying me, God? Why do you put me through these tests, God? Because I want to see who is true in character. I want to see who has resilience. I want to see and build you up. So when I give you what you're asking for, O servant of God, you'll be able to handle it. You won't be looking down on the people from which you came. You won't be pejorative. You won't be condescending. You won't look at them and say, oh, look at them. You see, God has to try all of us. And he tries us to ensure that we appreciate what he gives us. God tries us with other people, as I said in the beginning. He says, I have made you into many tribes and families. Not that you despise one another, but you get to know one another. You see, there's an implied task that you get to know one another. But the implied task is you have to know yourself. You see, when you know yourself, you don't need to be understood. When you know yourself and know your purpose and know your destiny and know where you're going, you understand yourself because God has you on a mission. You see, when you understand yourself, you can't discriminate against other human beings because you have some discriminate things going on inside yourself. I'm going to say that again because I don't want you to miss that. You see, you can't discriminate against other people, because you got some indiscriminate things in your life that you have to work out. You see, only people who don't understand who they are have the small minds to discriminate against other human beings. You see, this is why God says, as for man, when I bless him, when I give him favor, when I give him gifts, when I raise or try him with his means of subsistence, he says, with puffed up pride, my Lord has honored me. But when I try him and take away some of those gifts that I gave him, take away some of the favor that I have bestowed on him, and test him and try him, he said, my Lord has humiliated me. Brothers and sisters, in this short devotion, I am trying to communicate to you that God is ever present. God is ever watchful. God is a constant, a persistent means in your life. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to struggle to earn the favor that he has given you. I didn't say earn the favor as a means that God is not already graceful and already favorable to you. I mean, he has given you life. In Islam, we call that deen, we call it a debt, and you owe God for your existence. You see, my grandmother and my grandfather used to tell me, Michael, you see, you got to work. You got to be a hard worker. You have to earn your keep. Oh, listen to me. They said, Michael, you have to earn your keep. I always wondered what that really meant, but now as an older statesman, I understand you have to be an asset to any place that you are as juxtaposed to a liability. You see, if you go into your situations, whether friendship, relationship, jobs, or anything, when you go there feeling entitled, you won't work your hardest. When you go there feeling entitled, you think somebody owes you something. When you go there feeling entitled, you don't give your best because you think somebody should give you something. My grandmother and grandfather used to say, boy, you got to earn your keep. That means you have to work hard every day to be an asset. Not only to your livelihood, but to your family, to your relationships, and to your existence for you and God. God says, as I close here in this short devotional, as for man, when his Lord gives him favor, tries him with favor, and give him houses and give him cars and and raises his means of subsistence, he says, my Lord has honored me. But when God tries him and takes some of the favor and takes some of the grace and tries him and removes some of his means of subsistence, his eyes are to the floor and said, my Lord has humiliated me. No. God doesn't humiliate. God elevates, but some of that elevation comes through trials, tribulations, and humility to understand that God has given you life, that God has given you your existence, that God has given you our houses and our cars and our clothes. So what right do you have to look down on other human beings? What right do you have to have your nose up in the air because God has given you some rank and status in the world? What right do you have not to treat human beings with kindness, not to treat human beings and nurture them, not to give human beings mentoring, not to give human beings your time, even though your time is limited and precious? Brothers and sisters, my people, if you are breathing, you are my people. If you have sight for me to see you, you are my people. If you have ears for me to hear you, you are my people. I leave you as I came to you, in the words of peace. May God bless you. May God give you courage. May God give us all wisdom. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربي زدني علما. God, give us the best of this world and that of the hereafter, and save us from the fire of ourselves and our own self-destruction. Don't let our hearts deviate after you have guided us to the truth and mercy of your wisdom, and increase us all in knowledge. Ameen. Fi amanillah. Go in God's peace. Assalamu alaikum.